Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CHOW Time Sports. I'm Chow.
I'm Pete, and last week was a very eventful week. A lot of big upsets, a lot of close, tight games. So looks like we got a pretty short slate this week, only 13 games, but let's get right into it. Without further ado, Thursday night, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars heading into New Orleans as 3.5-point underdogs. Chow, you want to start us off here?
Yeah, I'll make it short, sweet, and simple. Give me the Jags plus 3.5. Both these teams are kind of just mediocre. All right, the Jags are not a 4-2 team. I'd say like there's nothing on the Saints that really pops out to me. Jacksonville, Calvin Ridley has been a bust. He's been a dud so far this year. He has not been what everyone thought he was going to be. That being said, I'm going to have to take the Jags. ML. I'm going to have to take them plus 3.5.
I don't really see why the Saints would be favored by 3.5 points here. They have played decent football. Their defense, I would say the Saints have a better defense, but I would say that they're definitely behind the Jaguars in the offensive department. I like Jacksonville here, at least. I don't like the team. I fucking hate Jacksonville. But they got away with one on Sunday.
They did.
But I also have to take Jacksonville and give me the Jacksonville plus 3.5. Next up, to begin the 1 o'clock slate, no London game this week. We have the Las Vegas Raiders heading into Chicago as 3.5-point underdogs. The Raiders have been a very hit or miss team. Devontae Adams has either been on the field or off the field. It's you can't tell sometimes. He's been very quiet as of lately, and this Raiders offense seems that they really struggle to get things going sometimes, but their defense has stood strong a good amount of times. Their defense has looked pretty good. Max Crosby is definitely making a strong appearance there on the defensive end.
Sealing the game last week.
Yeah, big plays to help the Raiders win last week.
Nice safety to cap the game off.
Yeah. Chicago on the other end, they played hot for about 2 weeks, and they really cooled off last week in Minnesota in a game that they very well could have and should have won against the Vikings without Justin Jefferson. When the Vikings only score 19 points, you gotta win that game.
Doesn't
Chicago.
help when your starting quarterback goes down.
Doesn't matter. They had plenty of opportunities. That guy Tyler Bagent, he was all right. He looked pretty good. He didn't look terrible. I think he looked okay. But at the same time, I think that this Las Vegas Raiders team should have really no problem walking into Chicago and taking this one easily. Give me the Raiders with the 3.5.
Yeah, you said just about everything that I was going to say. I'm going to take the Raiders minus 3.5. No Justin Fields, which is huge blow to the Chicago Bears. Without Justin Fields, that offense does not run. And you can say Justin Fields is as bad as you want, but he makes that offense run. And so without him, their offense is not going to be moving the ball down the field like they want to. Their defense is still the same old defense, which sucks. And so for that reason, give me the Las Vegas Raiders minus 3.5. Moving on, we got the Cleveland Browns as 2.5-point favorites going into Indianapolis to play your Indianapolis Colts, Pete.
P.J. Walker and the Cleveland Browns shocked the world last week. I was definitely shocked. The 49ers, they played awfully in the rain.
Yeah.
Didn't help. Jim Schwartz went out, though. Jim Schwartz moved on to 8-1 against Kyle Shanahan. Felt like kind of a storybook game right there. But I believe that this Colts team, after taking kind of a beating from Jacksonville, I think that they very well could get themselves together, and instead of digging themselves out of a hole, they could potentially keep up with the slowed down Browns offense. I have to say, with or without, Anthony Richardson's probably going to be out for the year.
He is officially.
Gardner Minshew stepping up to the plate. I believe that he just has to find himself. He needs to play a little bit better. once he finds himself, he'll be able to sling the rock down the field. His receivers have been playing pretty good. Josh Downs looks great. Alec Pierce needs to really get himself going over there. He's been very quiet thus far. Previous second-round pick. Michael Pittman's been having a decent, kind of quiet year. He needs to start helping out his quarterback. Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss, I believe that rushing attack is going to really get going against this Cleveland team that's really not going to be able to do much besides run the ball, because I don't think P.J. Walker is going to really play that well. I got to say, give me the Colts plus 2.5. I'd feel much better if it was 3.5, but I got to take the Colts plus 2.5 and give me them outright. I have to.
Yeah, Josh Downs has had himself a good season so far. He actually broke the record for the most receptions by a rookie in, was it 5 or 6 games?
Yeah.
One of the two, beating out Marvin Harrison, which is, you're in good company if you're beating out Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
That being said, that Cleveland Browns defense is legit. I will officially say it. They are legit. They are a top 5 defense in the league. And honestly, I think I'm going to have to take the Browns minus 2.5.
I completely get that pick, and the only reason that I actually want to ride with Indianapolis here is because I believe that they can win this game scoring 13 points.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
I think it's very possible that the Colts win this game scoring less than 20 points.
I think it comes down to who's got a better offensive line and defensive line. And to me,
whoever wins the trench battle is going to win this game.
Yeah. And to me, I think the Browns have the edge with their defensive line, and I think that's why I got to ride with them. Even with P.J. Walker, I got to ride with the Cleveland Browns minus 2.5.
Next up, we have your Buffalo Bills heading into Foxborough to play against the lowly 1-5 New England Patriots. The Bills narrowly escaping one from the Giants last week. You start us off here, Chow. What do you think?
We got to get our head out of our asses. I'm going to keep it real, all right? We realistically should be 3-3 right now. A lot of mistakes all over the place. Tyler Bass had 2 missed field goals. Our defense played well, though. Our defense played well. Minus a couple penalties here and there. Our defense played well, but our offense looked abysmal. I don't know what was going on. We need to run the ball more consistently. That will open up a lot of things in the passing game. But I see the Buffalo Bills having a bounce-back week this week, especially against this New England Patriots team. They're in division, so it's always a big game when you play in division, no matter the records. I think this is going to be a good stepping stone to get back on the right track, and so I'm going to take Josh Allen and the boys minus 8.5 going into Foxborough.
The Bills did have 3 blowout wins following their Week 1 loss, and I think after a game where they played as crappy as they did against the Giants, I believe that this one might be a pretty ugly one. I have to take the Bills by a landslide here against New England. I know it's through history it's been tough to beat the Patriots in Foxborough, but it's not the same team that we've seen over the past 10, 12 years. It's
different now.
It's a different team.
It's a different time in New England.
Next up, we have the Washington Commanders heading into MetLife Stadium to play against the New York Giants. The Commanders favored by 1.5 here. I love that. The Commanders are a much better football team than the Giants. I understand it's a divisional game. The Giants have the home field advantage. They just played very close against the Bills, but I think the Washington Commanders are a much better football team on both sides of the ball. I think Sam Howell's the better quarterback. I have to take the Commanders minus 1.5. Keep it short and simple there.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Pete. I think the Commanders take this one home. Shout out Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor did not play bad against the Bills. Little homecoming game for him. I believe, is he still going to be playing this week, or is Daniel Jones back?
Daniel Jones is still questionable to play.
Okay. Regardless who plays quarterback over there in New York, give me the Washington Commanders minus 1.5.
I feel like the Giants would honestly have a better chance of winning this game with Tyrod Taylor.
I would agree. I would definitely agree, but I guess we'll see. But I think once again, if this defensive front for the Commanders can get active, which, they haven't really been what we want them to be this year. Regardless of that, I think the Commanders, I think they're gonna destroy this line. This game should not be a -1.5. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Commanders -1.5.
Next up, we have the ATL Falcons heading into Tampa Bay as 2.5-point favorites. The Falcons are 3-3. They started off hot. They've really cooled off. Kyle Pitts scored his first touchdown in what feels like a decade.
Desmond Ridder got his first loss at home.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield coming off a bye. I'd say a lot of relatively minor injuries for that Buccaneers offense. Got to rest a week. I have to take Baker in the Bucs here. I think Baker is still here. I think Baker's ready to play. I think this Buccaneers offense is going to come out slinging this week, and I feel like this could be a very high-scoring game. One relatively mediocre defense. The Atlanta Falcons defense, I just think they're going to struggle keeping up with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Rachaad White. I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be able to run away with this one.
I'm split between this game because I look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their offense is not that good.
It's not that great, and I really like the Falcons defense. I love A.J. Terrell. I love Jesse Bates, but I feel like every time that I've faded Baker, they've come out and won. So I feel like I have to believe in him now.
I still don't know, honestly. I do like that Atlanta Falcons defense. The Buccaneers, I find it hard to believe that they're going to be able to move the ball consistently this game. And I think that's the big thing for me, whether I think that they're going to be able to do that with whether it be the run game, which hasn't been very good with Rachaad White. Outside of that, Mike Evans has had a decent year so far. Chris Godwin's had a decent year so far. I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay -2.5 just because they are in Tampa Bay. I think that home field advantage is really going to help them right after the bye week, and I think they're gonna get back on track.
Next up, we have the 5-1 Detroit Lions, currently tied for first place in the NFC, going into Baltimore to face off against the 4-2 Ravens. The Ravens are -3.5. I think I'm going to go with the better football team here. Give me Detroit +3.5.
Absolutely.
I can't believe Detroit's getting 3.5 points this week. I get it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, is he still injured?
I believe he's coming back. He'll be back.
I just like everything about this Detroit defense. They're gritty. They stick around. They don't give up. They don't take their foot off the gas pedal. This Baltimore Ravens team, thing is with them, they play up to competition and they play down to competition. They have 2 tough losses, but this Detroit Lions team, I really feel like they are the better football team here. Even in Baltimore, as long as Jared Goff and crew can get the run game established with Jahmyr Gibbs, this is going to be his first full workload. I'm really hoping for Jahmyr Gibbs that he has a great game. He can get out there, run the ball for, I don't know, maybe 15 carries, get 80 yards.
Love to see that out of him.
Maybe even find the end zone, catch a couple passes. I really hope that this is a big game for him. He can really make a statement as why the Detroit Lions really were able to draft him high up there in the first round. With that being said, I'm going to go with the better receiving core. I think the Detroit defense has played much better than the Ravens.
Definitely.
The quarterback battle, I gotta say Lamar Jackson's probably the better quarterback, but I feel like every other aspect of the game, it's Detroit. Give me Detroit.
This one's a no-brainer for me. Give me Detroit +3.5. Give me their money line. This Baltimore Ravens team, I am still not sold on them. And you can say Lamar is better than Jared Goff. I will accept that argument. But Jared Goff is a good quarterback. He has played extremely well this year. Extremely well. His odds for MVP have jumped up to plus 2,000. 3,000, which is crazy because it's Jared Goff. But he's just been playing great football this year. That defense with Aiden Hutchinson has been playing incredible. Amon-Ra St. Brown, nobody can stop the Sun God. He will be playing. He played last week. He will absolutely be playing, and he is going to destroy that secondary. Marlon Humphrey will not have an answer for him. I just don't know why the better football team, even being away, is underdogs by 3.5. That just actually is mind blowing to me.
I feel like this could very well be a trap game, Mr. Goodell, but I love the Lions plus 3.5. This is a game Absolutely. That they very well should win. That I think the Lions easily move on to 6-1 here.
Absolutely.
Next up, this is going to be a defensive slugfest, in my opinion. The 3-2 Pittsburgh Steelers heading into Los Angeles to face off against the Rams as 3.5-point underdogs. This Pittsburgh defense has won them all 3 of their games.
Yeah.
Their offense struggles to get moving. But their defense, they shut everyone down. This game against the Rams, the Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. I hate Puka Nacua, man. Tyler Higbee. Kyron Williams is not playing.
He is not.
It's going to be Zach Evans and Royce Freeman that are two-manning the backfield. I really don't know which way to go here. My heart's telling me to take the Rams, but I really want to see the Pittsburgh Steelers win this one. Give me the Rams outright, and I'm going to take the Steelers plus 3.5. I think this game is decided by a field goal. I think this game is very close. This could very well be 17-16, 20-17, 13-10. Could be very, very close, very low scoring.
Yeah, I think it really, really just comes down to, can the Los Angeles Rams block T.J. Watt? Can they do that? That is as simple as that. T.J. Watt leads the NFL in sacks right now, even with a bye, which is ridiculous. That dude is a freak of nature. I'm looking for Cooper Kupp, though, to have a big game. I think he is going to have a great game like he has the past 2 weeks. No one can guard Cooper Kupp. He is unguardable. I'm having the same predicament as you, whether I want to take the Rams minus 3.5 or take Pittsburgh plus 3.5, because I could see this game going either way. I could see it being a 3-point game, and I could see it being a 4-point game. I'm going to go with the Steelers plus 3.5. I like their defense too much to not keep it close.
You going to take them outright?
No, I'm going to take the Rams outright, I think. I like the Rams to win because I think they have a much better offense, and your defense cannot keep winning you every game. Eventually, that's not gonna happen, and I think this is the game that it happens. So yeah, give me the Steelers plus 3.5, but give me the Rams ML.
Next up, this game I feel like it's a pretty easy one here. The Seattle Seahawks divisional game. Yep. This is one that they need to win. Geno, DK, Tyler Lockett, Kenneth Walker, all coming off a bye. This offensive powerhouse, I believe that they're going to have what it takes to defend their homeland against the Arizona Cardinals. I believe that this game is decided by more than 7.5 points. I feel like Seattle could very well win this game by 2 touchdowns. Seattle's played a lot of teams very tough. They came out of the gate swinging, but they kind of cooled off. They did kind of get blown out by the Rams last week, right? It was the Rams.
It wasn't really a blowout. I believe it was like a 20... let's see, 26-9. So I guess they did get blown out by 17 points.
I just feel like the Seattle Seahawks, their offense is better than the Rams. Defense slightly not as good, but I got to go with Seattle minus 7.5 here.
Yeah, give me Seattle minus 7.5 as well. I like Joshua Dobbs, but I think that Seattle defense is going to do it with Tariq Woolen and Devin Witherspoon in the back end, who's having a great year, by the way. Devin Witherspoon,
especially without James Conner, too. That's the biggest thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, they've had a great year. I think Geno just has to be Geno. Be smart with the ball, move the ball. Kenneth Walker has been a dog this year. I would say for the Cardinals, you really got to lean on your playmakers and Zach Ertz and Hollywood Brown. I think that's the key to winning this game, but I don't see it happening. Give me the Seattle Seahawks -7.5.
Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers, fresh off the bye, heading into Denver to face off against the 1-5 Broncos. Packers are favored by 1.5. This is supposed to be the game where Aaron Jones comes back. With or without Aaron Jones, the Broncos stink. Plain and simple. They couldn't beat a high school team. Russ stinks. They got to get rid of Jerry Jeudy. Send him off to a team where he'll actually have a good career. He can't be the next DeAndre Hopkins where his career is just wasted and pissed away by a sorry team. He trade Jerry Jeudy, trade Courtland Sutton, just completely start the rebuild, take the $70 million loss, and just move on. Give me the Packers. I think Jordan Love's a better quarterback.
I would not say that.
I think Jordan Love is.
I would not say that.
I mean, based off. I mean, Russ is having a decent season. I mean, it's weird. He's got 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but they're 1-5.
Yeah, that defense can't stop a nosebleed.
It's not even that. It's just they're always down by so much. It's all just garbage time.
I guess.
They're always down by so much because the first half of the game, they get their faces kicked in. Russ goes up against the second stringers in the third and fourth quarter and puts up a bunch of bullshit points. Give me the Packers -1.5.
I'm going to disagree with your statement of saying that Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson right now.
Right now he might not be, but I believe that he will be. At least by the end of the season.
Or just by this season?
All time. I mean, I don't know about all time. Barring any serious injuries, it's very possible.
I don't know about that one. Jordan Love is not winning a Super Bowl. Let's keep it real.
I mean, Russ could have 2, but could have had 2.
You know, I almost tricked myself into picking the Broncos here as a little trap. I had the Broncos, and then I was just listening to you, and I was like, man, that Green Bay defense is it's decent. And then I thought, all right, who scares me on the Denver Broncos?
Nobody. One comes to mind.
Nobody, and that's why.
I mean, Pat Surtain, but he can't do it himself.
Right.
He can't do it alone. He is phenomenal. He has so much talent. He has a great work ethic. No matter what the score is, he's always out there trying and running around like a freaking heat-seeking missile. But he can't do it himself. He needs help. Right. With that being said, when there's 10 other guys on the field that you can, well, I mean, not 10, when there's 10 other guys on the field, period, but at least 5 other guys that can get the ball, give me the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I was this close to tricking myself to taking the Broncos, but they're just
don't
bad.
stress.
They're just bad. So yeah, give me the Packers -1.5.
Next up, we have the Los Angeles Chargers heading into Burrowhead to face off against the Kansas City Chiefs. 5.5-point underdogs, the Los Angeles Chargers.
I'll start us off.
You start us off here.
First of all, the Chargers defense is some serious shit. Chargers offense, I mean, you saw what just happened on Monday Night Football. Choke artist. All right. Given you take a sack with under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then throw
with an interception.
Throw a wild ball. I love Justin Herbert as much as the next guy, but man, critical errors. And when you're going into Arrowhead, you cannot have those errors. And this Chiefs defense is actually decent for once, and so I just think being in Arrowhead, because that is absolutely a home field advantage in Arrowhead. The fans in Arrowhead are crazy, not as crazy as Bills fans, but they're pretty. They get the place rocking. Mahomes, I mean, he hasn't looked like himself this year, but it's still Patrick Mahomes at the end of the day. He is still the best quarterback in the NFL. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
As much as I hate to say it, I hate Patrick Mahomes, but I got to give it to him.
Yeah, I do too, but he is the best quarterback in the NFL. So I'm just going to take straight up. I'm going to take the better defense and the better quarterback here. I'm not going to say that the Chiefs necessarily have a better offense than the Chargers, because I think that one is debatable. I think the Chargers have a case for having a better offense, but I like the better defense and the better quarterback here. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs, -5.5.
I think that if the Los Angeles Chargers want to remain in playoff contentions, this is the game right here that they make their statement. I'm gonna go against the grain here. I'm gonna do something wild here. Give me the Chargers. Give me the Chargers.
Guy.
I really like Justin Herbert, and I'm really trying to think of what else I could say besides the fact that I like Justin Herbert, and I just want to see that this Los Angeles Chargers team upset the Chiefs. I feel like this is a team that very well could do it. I don't know. I feel like the Chargers have the offensive power to keep up with the Chiefs. It's just a matter of if Justin Herbert can play it cool, go through his progressions, find Keenan Allen, find Gerald Everett, dump it off to Eckler in the flat. The drives can be long and slow. They can be 3-down drives the whole way down the field, but as long as they result in touchdowns or at least field goals, they can't be punting the ball away from the opposing 45. They can't get to that no man's land territory and get rid of the ball like they did against Dallas about 4 times. They've gotten into borderline field goal territory and punted the ball numerous times. All they needed was a couple more yards until Cameron Dicker could get out there and maybe even punch in a 50-yarder, but they just stall out right when they cross the 50. I feel like if they can solve that problem, I feel like the Chargers will put up a very good fight against this Kansas City Chiefs team.
Moving on, we have my game of the week. I think this is America's game of the week. We have the 5-1 Miami Dolphins heading into Philadelphia as 1.5-point underdogs against the 5-1 Philadelphia Eagles. I'll start this one. Fuck the Dolphins. Give me the Eagles, baby. Fly, Eagles, fly. -1.5. Here we go. I'm praying to God Jalen Carter's healthy, and I'm praying to God Darius Slay is healthy. Even if they're not, still give me the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's bring these guys back down to reality again, all right? They need a reality check. The Eagles, they got their reality check last week. They're going to be back. They're going to be hungry for a win. They're not going to take no more shit. All right?
All I can think about is that video on YouTube. You ever seen it where the guy's getting arrested and he's like, "Is there anything you'd like to say?" And he's like, "Go Eagles." Give me the birds, plain and simple. The Miami Dolphins, every time they've been tested, they've lost. They've been tested once against the Buffalo Bills, and they have a 100% loss rate against teams where they've been tested. Yep. I mean, if you play the Panthers and the Broncos every week, obviously you're going to end up 5-1 through 6 weeks.
Right.
They haven't really been tested yet. I mean, they failed against the Bills badly.
Yeah.
I believe that this is a game where actually, give me the Dolphins schedule. Week 1.
Week 1 they played the Chargers in a shootout, 36-34. Week 2 they played the Dolphins, not the Dolphins, the Patriots. They won 24-17. Their first slight test of the resemblance of maybe a competent defense.
That was before the Patriots really fell off a cliff.
Yes. Week 3, the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Shit. Week 4, the Buffalo Bills brought them down there.
They got crushed.
Week 5, the Giants.
And they blew them out.
Self-explanatory.
They won by what, two touchdowns?
Yeah, they won by 2 scores.
And they played the Panthers, and they won by what, three touchdowns?
Yeah, 3. So they have not played a competent defense outside of the Bills all year.
I mean, you can kind of say the same thing about the Eagles. I don't really think they have been tested that truly as well.
No, not really, but they haven't been playing that cakewalk of a schedule.
They have not. They certainly haven't. I mean,
they've played They've played the Patriots, they kept the Patriots, and the Patriots have kept the Eagles and the Dolphins close. They played the Eagles,
they played the Vikings.
The Vikings, which Vikings are not a good team. They played the Buccaneers. They played the Commanders. They played the Rams. I would say those teams are not much better, but they're definitely better than the Giants, the Panthers, the Broncos.
And especially coming off a loss
to the Jets, which well done by the Jets the Jets coaching staff to put in a great game.
The Eagles win here. That's big for the Jets.
Yeah, it's big for the Bills.
Bigger for the Jets. Give me
Bigger
Philly.
For the Bills. Yeah, give me Philly. Let's squish those fish, baby.
Lastly, we have the San Francisco 49ers heading into Minnesota. 7.5-point favorites.
I'll start.
Let me get a crack at this one.
All right. I'll let you go.
The Minnesota Vikings offense without Justin Jefferson. Nothing. Literally nothing. Terrible.
Abysmal.
Terrible. I'm thinking of words to say.
Synonyms of terrible, awful, horrendous.
Yep.
Shitty,
wretched. Just awful.
Lackluster.
Garbage. Poop. Just whatever you can think of. Just bad. Not good. Terrible. Bums. Kirk Cousins looking like a grocery bagger out there without Justin Jefferson. Some people could say the same thing about Brock Purdy without Debo and McCaffrey. But at the same time, I feel like this 49ers defense is what's going to be able to get it done for them.
Best defense in football.
Easily the best defense in football. I feel like the Niners defense might outscore the Vikings offense in this game. Give me the Niners with the 7.5. No biggie.
Yeah, there's no doubt about this. Niners minus 7.5. They're also coming off of a loss, which is shocking. But Kyle Shanahan's going to get them back into shape. They're not going to be doing that anymore. They're not going to be losing. Brock Purdy doesn't lose. Praying that McCaffrey's back or going to be healthy for this week. Same with Debo. But regardless, even if they don't, I still think they have the firepower to get it done. And that defense, come on, man. You can't bet against the best defense in football. San Fran minus 7.5 is a lock. That's a lock.
Yeah.
This Minnesota Vikings team is garbage.
Yeah, they're not good.
They're awful.
Especially without the best receiver in football.
Yeah, they're awful. So with that being said, that was this is week 6, right?
This is week 7. We're flying by, God. Man. Feels like just I don't know. Last Monday we filmed episode 1.
Yeah.
But thanks for riding with us, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Chow Time.